Hey, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to Life Mastery Decoded, where I help you decode the struggles in your life in the areas of health, wealth, relationships, and spirituality with mind mastery, emotional management, and meditation. Welcome to today's podcast. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's podcast, where I hope I am finding you living a powerful life. If you are not living a powerful life, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you one nugget of inspiration towards your transformation. When we are brought into this world, when we are born, we know our true potential. We understand it at this highly spiritual level. But as we begin to be submerged in our physical world and in our physical reality with all of the people around us who have lost touch with their own true power, we tend to forget because we tend to believe the physical world around us. Now, I remember being really, really small, and I remember having a conversation with my mom and talking about money. And I'm sure it was something that I wanted and I had to have it. And she had said something like, I can't afford it. And I'm thinking, we can just create more money. And I remember trying to have this conversation with her, and she was very stuck in the physical world, that she had forgotten her own inner powers, that you can create more money. I also remember trying to manifest. Now, this is like in the 80s. Where we didn't have a laptop or a cell phone. We had a landline, and we lived in the country in the middle of nowhere. We had 3 channels on our TV, and there was no bookstore right around the corner. There was no YouTube. There was no Google. There was no one for me to talk to ever know the word manifest or even understand, hey, Jen, go out and try to do this thing, and you can manifest your reality. Nobody said that to me. I grew up in a Catholic environment where God is outside of you, and if it is in His will that you become rich or that you become healed or that you become successful, it's up to Him. It's not up to you. Your job is to only fulfill within these boundaries and being the best person you can be. That's what I grew up with. But this one time, I remember so vividly trying to manifest a letter in the mail from my friend who lived a couple of hours away from me. And I remember being in my room and trying to correct my attitude about the mail going by. I'm like, okay, if I have a good attitude, like I'm really excited about getting something in the mail, and I hear the mail truck go by, and I go, Mom, I'm going to go get the mail, and I'm really excited about it, I'm bound to manifest this letter from my friend who lived 2 hours away. Now, I didn't say the word manifest. I didn't know, I didn't think that way. I didn't know anything about that. But as I go back in my mind today, and I go back to that 12, 13-year-old girl who's trying to, quote, manifest a letter in the mail, I'm thinking, what was I doing? Like, how did I even know about that? Nobody said anything to me. How did I understand that if I fix my attitude, I can manifest a letter in the mail? And I would practice. So that day I would get nothing in the mail. Then the next day I would practice, and I would say, all right, I'm going to try it with basically a poopy attitude. I don't care if I get anything in the mail or not. That's what I was trying. So I'm going out, walking, around the patio and up the driveway, and I'm going, I don't care if there's anything in the mail or not. And sometimes, lo and behold, a letter would show up. So then I understood at this innate spiritual level, I wonder if I'm holding on too tight, if it really has to do with my attitude or my excitement or the letting go. This is what I was playing with as a 12 and 13-year-old girl. And it's so interesting. The reason I tell you that story, and there are several, there's a bunch of stories that I have as a young girl where I've practiced this, but I had no idea. There wasn't a person who said, hey, go, here's this thing, it's called manifesting. You have the power within you to create your reality. And I'm like, okay, whatever you say, right? But because I did this on my own, I know, and I've always known, because I always held on to that I am a powerful being. I can create my reality. I can change things. I can, even things that are already manifest, I can tweak things and make things come in at different levels based on my thinking. And how do I know that? Because that's what I used to practice. But okay, so that's just me. That's my story. All right, Jen, well, you're lucky. You were able to, quote, manifest, even though you didn't know that. But that's not me. I can't do that. I don't have the ability to do that. And I go, well, you might not have the ability at this moment, but I will tell you, you are more powerful than you think you are. And if you start to work on the beliefs and your thinking and managing your energy and your emotions, I guarantee you, you will begin to make those shifts. You will begin to start seeing things happen in your life. And you go, okay, well, Jen, I'm going to practice. I want to manifest $1 million. And I go, okay, how realistic is it for you in your current state to manifest $1 million? And you go, well, you said I could manifest anything I want. And I go, well, yes, that's true. But how realistic is it? Because the bottom line is you have to believe it. If you don't believe it, you will not achieve it. If you don't believe that you can heal your body, you won't heal your body. If you don't believe you can make $1 million, you won't make $1 million. If you don't believe you can have the love of your life, or that you're deserving of love and abundance and joy, you will not obtain it. So please understand that. If you are taking notes, please understand you cannot achieve the thing you want unless you believe. So how do you come around to believing? Well, you practice on a little scale. In previous podcasts, I already told you about how I used to practice as a young adult when I worked at a daycare. I was an assistant director at a daycare with one of my very best friends, and we used to practice manifesting all the time. And we would set the stage for very simple things that we didn't have any resistance to. We were not talking about money. We weren't talking about love. We were talking about weird little things like the color red. I want to manifest the color red. I want to manifest the color red in so many places in my life today, on this day, that there's no way that I couldn't think that I was a part of the creation. I want to manifest it so much. And so we would. And so Carrie, who's my friend, who I used to work with, I would say, okay, let's practice. So I'd go in the morning, good morning, get the kids all set up and get them going and whatever. And I say, okay, what are we going to practice today? And she's like, all right, well, let's practice like a red toy from a boy, one of the boys at daycare. So I'm outside. I'm sitting outside in the backyard. The kids are out for recess. And this one little boy comes up and he brings me a little red, like an army figure. And I'm like, oh, thanks, and off he goes. Then he comes back and he gives me a red shovel. And I'm like, okay, thank you, and off he goes. By the time he showed up, coming up to me with the toy that was red, the third time, I'm like, oh my God, this is it. Then he shows up with a red bucket. And it wasn't a yellow bucket with a red handle. It's a red bucket. The little army figure that he brought was solid red. Then he brought like a red Frisbee. It was crazy. And so Carrie was inside making lunch and I'm like, oh my God, Carrie, you're not going to believe this. And I come in with this handful of toys, every single one of them red. And she's like, so what are you doing? And I said, do you remember what we talked about this morning? And I could hear the screaming for miles. That Carrie and I were laughing out loud and screaming like, oh my God, I can't even believe it. Holy crap. We did it. And then we kind of forgot about it. And then because I think from there, we didn't really know, fine, I can manifest a couple of toys from a kid at daycare, but can I manifest the things that are meaningful in my life? Can I manifest the perfect job, the perfect partner, the perfect income? And I say, of course you can, but you'll notice that as you go from manifesting a purple monkey to manifesting $1 million, the resistance shifts. So practice that. Try it right now. Get out a sheet of paper or maybe just make a declaration. I'm going to manifest a pink giraffe. And I want to see a pink giraffe as many times as I can throughout the day that there is no doubt in my mind that I created this pink giraffe. And I want you to say something like that. I want you to create that in your mind. And I want you to just put it out there And then I want you to simply let it go. I'm going to create a pink giraffe, pink giraffe, pink giraffe, over and over again. I'm so excited about creating a pink giraffe. I can't wait to even see it. And then that's it. Go make a cup of hot cocoa and go read a book, go watch TV and go away and forget all about it. And then when you go out throughout your day, you'll be like, oh my God, that's weird. Look at that. Is that a pink giraffe? Oh my gosh, there's a pink giraffe. Is that another one? Holy crap, there's a pink giraffe over there. And you'll be like, oh my God, that's me. I'm creating that. That's the excitement. Now from there, as you move on to something else, I want to create an additional $3,000 a month, unexplained income. You're going to feel the resistance, right? I mean, even just as I talk about it, I can feel the resistance. And then you go, okay, so I'm going to create $3,000 a month, and you feel the resistance. What do I do with that resistance? Well, you overcome it. You overcome it. The thing about the pink giraffe is you have no attachment to it. You don't care if you see a pink giraffe or not. It really doesn't matter. It's not going to change your life. Who cares? It's a pink giraffe. Doesn't matter, right? So you have no attachment to it. With your zero attachment, that is what helps it to manifest. Then you're not kinking the hose, or my new phrase is choking the chicken. Don't make fun. It's just a new phrase. So as I have resistance to the thing I'm trying to create, your job now becomes, what do I have to do to overcome that resistance? Well, my suggestion is start small. Go smaller on the scale, so much so that when you say it, it's no big deal. How about quarters? I'm going to manifest a whole load of quarters today. I'm going to manifest dollar bills. No resistance. I'm going to manifest a $10 bill. No resistance. Keep going until there's resistance, and then you come back one. If you feel resistance at $10, what about $5? Could you manifest a $5 bill? Could you manifest $5 somewhere? A tip from work, a bonus. Somebody takes you out for coffee and they spend $5 on your latte. That's $5, right? You didn't pay for it. It's $5. Or someone takes you out to lunch. Someone gives you something that's worth $5. So you're going to do stuff like that creates where you're starting to prove and starting to gain confidence about the thing without having any resistance. As long as you don't have resistance, it is game on. And that is my suggestion. Because look at this. Have you ever gotten a paper cut or a hangnail or some sort of a little bruise on your body? And you might go, ooh, ow, God, look at that bruise. That's when I ran into the corner of that table. Remember that? Oh gosh, that was pretty tough. And that's it. You rub it a little bit. Maybe maybe you put an ointment on it. Maybe if it's a cut, you might put some ointment on it and put a Band-Aid on it or clean out peroxide, whatever. And you just go about your day. You put the Band-Aid on it and you go away. And you remember that when you go away, what happens to the cut? It starts to heal. The body has natural healing properties that, unbeknownst to us, the body repairs itself. Okay? But what happens when we get something a little bit more serious? We get cancer. Now, all of a sudden, life comes to a halt. Everything you think about, talk about, dream about is cancer. Everything that you do revolves around cancer. Your emotional state goes down. When your emotional state is down, manifesting comes to a stop. You are standing there kinking the hose. You are not watering the garden. So what do we do then? Can you still manifest? Yes, you can. You just have to get out of your own way and let the body restore itself. Do you know somebody who has survived cancer? And do you know somebody who has died from cancer? What do you know about those two people? One person believed they could heal from it, and one person believed they couldn't. It is such a sensitive subject, and it is so probably punching so many of you in the face right now. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I want you to understand the power that you contain within your body. The power that you have to create the life you want to live, to deepen the connections of people that are in your life, and to heal your body in any capacity, in any way. The only reason they say, a long time ago when cancer came out, they said it was fatal. You can't survive cancer until one person survives cancer. You can't survive such and such a disease until one person survives. You can't break the 4-minute mile until one person breaks the the 4-minute mile. It can be done. So when we feel that resistance, what can we do? Well, you can back up from the belief until you can build the confidence. If you're trying to manifest, let's say, more money or a better job or a better partner, you can back up from that resistance, or you can overcome the resistance by letting the limiting belief go. Because as we get older and we are around people that are giving their belief, they're putting their beliefs on us, and they are saying, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not girly enough, you're never gonna this, you can't do that. And we tend to believe those things because we put all this power in this external world, and we put all this power in these other people thinking that they're right. Well, it's my mom and my dad, of course they're right. It's my brother, of course he's right. It's my teacher, of course he's right. But as long as we know that it's a belief, then we know it can be changed. I struggle often with the belief that I'm not smart enough until I actually sit and I evaluate and assess my life and where I'm at and what I've accomplished. And I go, you know what? I don't know everything, which is fine with me. I don't want to know everything because I love learning. But I know a lot. And in that knowing a lot, I can consider myself smart on a couple of different topics. And to me, that in itself overcomes the belief of I'm not smart enough. And I love the process of learning. So what is your core belief that stops you from thinking you have this power to create the life that you want to live? What is at the core? Do you believe you can't do it? Do you believe that God has to do it for you? Well, I'll tell you what, God's on your side, but God is not outside of you. God is part of you, that you are part of God. You are created in the image of God. Read the Bible. It says it everywhere in there that you have the power to create the life you want to live. You are a God-like being trapped in a physical body, and you won't be released until the day of your passing. So in the meantime, do we have to live with regret? Do we have to live in poverty? Do we have to live in this overweight body or this body filled with pain or anxiety or depression? Absolutely not. You have the power to do that. So what do we have to do? We have to manage our mind. We have to think on purpose. We have to wake up to the power that is us. We have to wake up. And what does wake up mean? It means to become present. It means to tap into our inner being. It means to look inside and become friends with the spiritual part of us that is quiet. That's our sixth sense. It is our insight and our intuition. It is trying to live on purpose with a purpose instead of just banging it around out in the world. What a miserable life. Sometimes you get things on accident. You get the promotion, you get the raise, you get the bonus, you get the boyfriend, you get the girlfriend, you have the kid, you get the house. You get these things on accident, but then you notice it's just kind of this roller coaster ride of up and down and in and out. Well, when we become more in touch with our inner selves and our inner being, it doesn't mean that the roller coaster isn't still there because we're always seeking expansion. It just means that now we know what to do about it. Now we have a little bit more inner awareness to be able to change the direction and the course of the way that our life is unfolding. And in order for our life to unfold in a way that feels better to us, we have to wake up and we have to tap into this power. So meditation is always a great way. It's just sitting in silence and pondering, but also asking for signs and asking for help. You know, you guides, God, source, universe. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for you to open my eyes to the path in front of me. I'm asking for signs and guidance to help me to see my path and to light up my soul's purpose. Because my spirit and my soul, it came into this physical existence to experience something. And I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I can ask for help. I can ask my guides to guide me, to open up the path, and things will be put in front of me that will attract me and show me the way. Show me the path for my soul's purpose. Because my soul is here to do something, to accomplish something. And it's up to me to figure out what that is. And we've been given that blueprint. It's just a matter of tapping into it. I can't say that I wanted to be a public speaker my whole life, but I will tell you all these different times of when I stood on the shed in my backyard and talked to the cornfield as if it was a giant audience. I was manifesting it. I was manifesting the times, over the 100 times that I've been on stage in front of a giant audience that just makes me feel so alive. What are you doing? What are you doing to tap into your inner power? How can you let go of those negative, heavy emotions that are preventing you from living your true essence and being authentic in your life? What can you do today that quiets your mind and just simply aligns you with your intuitive self, where you can start to unfold this power within you? You can look at your body now and look for a cut or a bruise or a scrape and say, you know what? I healed that. That's me doing that. I'll tell you right now, our middle son, Brandon, who's 16 years old, he has autism. And every time he gets some sort of a cut or a scrape or something, and it should scab up and heal, he never lets it heal. Never. Always picking at it, always poking at it, always talking about it, always touching it, always looking at it. And he keeps the wound open. It doesn't heal. So that's what we do in our lives if we continue to talk about the things that are going bad in our life. That is the same as you picking and poking at this wound and never letting it heal. He's got a scrape. It was like a bug bite that turned into this holy moly because he couldn't leave it alone. And I'm not kidding you guys. It's been since like August and we still have to put a Band-Aid on it. But any other bug bite that turns into a little scrape, a little bit of blood, you clean it up, you put a Band-Aid on it, and you walk away from it. But if you continue to poke at it and you continue to draw attention to it, it doesn't heal. And your life is the same way. So take an aspect of your life right now. What are you giving too much attention to that is just not healing? That you are giving so much focus on that it just can't manifest? I'm going to ask that you distract yourself from it and look at it in a different light. Look at it differently and allow it to start to shift. Because if I keep saying, I'm so broke, I never have any money, I never, I'm doing this thing or I have this job and they never pay me enough and I hate my manager and I hate my boss because they won't give me a raise. Well, you're never going to get a raise doing that. Ever. Never. Never. But what if you say, you know what, I'm appreciative of this job and I'm appreciative of the money that is coming in. And as the money comes in, I give thanks for the money. I give thanks that it allows me to buy food and pay for the bills. I give thanks that it's in my pocket and I can buy a few things that I absolutely love. If you gave it that kind of focus, you're going to get a raise. You're going to get a promotion or a job opportunity or some other money is going to come in. I can guarantee it. And you know why? Because I do it. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. And it's not just me. I know that I'm not the only one who can manifest. Amy and I do it all the time. We talk about it with Cameron and he practices all the time. I told you about his little gumball story where we were going into the mall and it was me and Cameron and Mom. We're going into the mall and he was just like, Mom, can I get a quarter for a gumball? And she's like, no. And I said, Cameron, why don't you manifest a quarter? I said, better yet, manifest a gumball. And I said, think about the gumball, because of course he got all pouty because Mom wasn't going to give him a quarter. And I said, think about the gumball. Think about having the gumball and the big hardcover, whatever bright case, and it's in, or bright color, I mean, and it's encased and it's hard, and then you bite into it and it gets juicy and you feel the sweetness on your tongue. And he got all excited. And I'm not kidding you guys, not 10 minutes later, what does the kid manifest? 40 quarters, a $10 bill. He manifests a $10 bill simply because he changed his attitude about Mom not giving him a quarter. And it was amazing. It was his first experience with manifesting, and he still remembers it because we talk about it all the time. So that is my practice for you. Start with something simple and small. Understand the power within. Go back to some of the things that you have manifested on your own and start to practice. A pink giraffe. Do that to start. Heal the bruise or the paper cut. Heal the parts of your body that if you have a headache, practice that. I heal this headache. I send this headache healing, loving energy. And as you practice, you're going to build more and more confidence. And in that confidence, you're going to continue to build this power and understand or connect with this power and understand the momentum and the creative power that lies within. I can't wait to hear your success stories. Please come to Lady Rising. When you get the membership questions, tell me that you're coming in through my podcast and share your success stories with me. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, consider joining our Sister Circle Connection calls, where you can share these success stories on our calls. Go to our Lady Rising group, and you'll see in the featured section where our sister circles are. Find the calendar. And you'll see when the next one is scheduled. Join us and share with us your success stories. I can't wait to hear from you. If you liked this episode and look forward to future episodes, please consider making a small monthly donation to help support this podcast. If you are looking for a community to join and have more access to me, then consider one of the following platforms. Chakras for Beginners is an energy-based community that is highly active and growing every day. Lady Rising is a sistership community where the focus is on spiritual support and connection. We hold monthly calls and talk about topics such as today's episode. We also have an online store where you can meet your meditation and chakra needs with products for your journey. You can visit us at www.themeditationroomtc.com. Thank you for joining me and being a valued listener.